Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we will be continuing our coverage of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, playing until we unlock Esquie in the overworld. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
I went to a fairly new arcade that opened here, and I hadn't been there before, and I was real excited. But then me and the person I went with, we played like a couple dozen cabinets, and I can only remember three of them functioning properly. We were excited when we saw that Pac-Man was free play, but it turns out you couldn't turn left.
What?
So that's an important feature in Pac-Man.
It is.
We played some Tekken Tag Tournament, but I couldn't move left or right, so I was at a disadvantage.
Only slightly. Fighting games are only slightly about dodging attacks.
Yeah.
Only a little.
I was excited to play a game called Satan's Hollow because Maddie Grace told me Satan's Hollow is good, and I asked what it is, and she was like, I don't know, it's weird. And I was like, okay, I'll play Satan's Hollow, but then the stick was just like real weird and loose and didn't work.
Dang.
It was a suck-ass arcade.
Yeah, me and my partner on our first date, we realized there was an arcade next to us, and we go, and they had closed down the arcade side of the building for the night already. We were there in like the last hour they were open, but they had closed it early because not a lot of people were coming, and they just had the pinball half open, and many of the pinball games were also broken, and we were like, this arcade suck ass. If we're going to an arcade, we're going to go to probably IO on Willie Street because it was bad. I'm not going to say which the bad one was, but I will say that IO arcade bar is good. They have, I don't know what the name of the game is because it only takes place in my brain as Wizard Soccer, but it's a black and white and like sparsely colored thing where you're a wizard and you have like a Celeste air dash sort of thing, and there's a soccer ball basically, and you have to knock it into your opponent's goals, but the goals are all in like super weird places on each of the different levels. It is very fast and very fun, and one of my favorite arcade experiences is playing that game every time I go. And next time I go, I will look up and see what it's called, but
Nice.
Right now it's Wizard Soccer.
Oh, I just remembered another funny experience at that arcade I went to. Not only was there a broken Pac-Man machine, there was a Miss Pac-Man / Pac-Man / Galaga machine, and that one did function properly. The problem was I tried to play Pac-Man on it because I wanted to play Pac-Man on a cabinet. That's always fun to do. I tried to play Pac-Man on it, but Pac-Man was... I did the first level, and Pac-Man was zooming so fast. I think they got this machine from some sort of hobbyist who was a sicko and set the settings all weird. And then they didn't change the settings when they got the machine.
Yes.
Also because the high score was like ridiculous on that machine. I think it was some sicko used to have it.
Yeah.
And then they didn't change the settings when they got it. So I did have some fun playing Pac-Man like that, but it was scary.
The game I was thinking of is called Death Ball, by the way.
Nice.
It's very good. Big recommend if you're ever in an arcade and you see it. What about you, Trish? How was your week?
My week's been pretty good. Trying to think of stuff that I can talk about because I had stuff in my head and I was like, yeah, I can talk about that. Let's see. I have a meeting this Friday. It hasn't happened yet, but I think I talked about how I want to unionize my workplace. I reached out to like a larger union libraries sort of thing that's like nationwide, but also specifically the Massachusetts branch, and was like, hey, I want to get help unionizing over here. And I was told like, okay, someone's going to reach out to you at some point. And I was like, okay. And it was been like 3 weeks. And I was like, I don't know this is happening. I get to work the other day. And so it's like, oh, Trish, someone left this for you. And it's someone's card and being like, you can contact me via this. So we've been reaching out via text. I'm going to have a meeting with them Friday. While I'm working, I'm going to, because it's the only time I think our schedules line up, I'm going to, on my lunch break, go over to the nearby pizza place and have a meeting about unionizing my work. So I hope that goes good. Not as good. My wife is going to be leaving the country tomorrow on a 10-day trip out of the country, and I'm gonna miss her. I'm happy that she's going on a fun trip, and I hope she has a really great time. But also, that's 10 days when she's not home, and I'm gonna miss her a lot. Work's been mostly good. That's what I was trying to remember. I started a video game. Namely, I decided to poke at because I was so desperate. I had a day where I'd done everything before we had set when we were stopping with Clair Obscur. I was like, "Oh, we're playing to who knows where," so I'll play up to. This seems like a decent stopping point. That's where we stopped. Luckily, I correctly intuited. And then I was like, "I'm gonna go back and beat all the bonus bosses." And then I was like, "Fuck, I still want to play video games today." As much as I would like to write or do something else creative, all my brain wants is to play video games. And so I decided to boot up 100 Line Last Defense Academy.
Oh, shit!
The new game by the Dongo Bongo people working together with the Zero Escape guy.
I hear that game absolutely kicks ass.
So far, it's pretty bananas. It's one of those cases where I'm very familiar with one franchise of the past creator work, and then not familiar at all. I've never played Zero. I touched Zero Escape and it shocked me, and I went, never mind, I don't like it.
It's not good. I've played the first two games, the ones that people like, and they're not good. No one even likes the third game, so maybe that one is good.
Yeah,
I
should play it and be a sicko who likes it.
But yeah, so far I've put in a little bit of time into 100 Line Academy, and it is very ridiculous. It has definitely some things that are pretty fun about it. I cannot stop headcanoning the main character as a trans girl just because apparently she was the main character was going to be a girl originally, and then they're like, no, they changed character design so much, and eventually we ended up with what we have now. But there are still sprites where it's like, that's a girl though. That's clearly a girl. Also, I was spoiled on one of the endings because there's 100 endings in this game, which is the reason I wanted to play in the first place. There's one ending, which I will only say is from the comedy route, which is a route in the game, and it is it is so hilarious. The first 4 times I watched it, I each time laughed so hard I lost my sight. It is deliriously funny, at least to me.
One thing that I love about this game in particular is the company Tokyo or 2Q, I don't remember, something like that. It's like Tokyo but not. When they said in an interview that they've been struggling financially, and so this has the potential to be their last game, so they're really hoping it's a hit. In a lot of companies, they would be like, so we did something really safe that we think everybody will like, and they're like, so we made the most maximalist crazy person combination of our franchises. It's so much game because why not? This might be the last time we get to do this, so
they've been talking about maybe doing DLC to add more endings.
Oh my god. I'm just glad this company managed to make a good game, because I knew they had it in them, but World's End Club might be one of the worst games I've ever played. And everything I've heard about Raincode sounds real bad. But yeah, 100 Line sounds awesome. Speaking of narrative games with multiple endings, I forgot to mention about my week. I did finish the first draft of the big rewrite project for the old game that I helped make in college that we're remaking after Possum Boy.
Yay.
And I sent it to someone to read it, someone who's familiar with the original, to read it and give me feedback and stuff, and it's very exciting and fun. Trying to talk about it without giving anything away.
If only it didn't have one of the most marketable names, so that everyone would know exactly the thing if we talk about it by name. So we just have to say vaguely the next game we're doing. My week. So I'm almost done with my big project at work, and I'm hoping to finish it by Friday. I feel really good about it, but part of the thing that I need to do is we have basically like a questionnaire with a bunch of different branches. And it's like, oh, they were referred to this school for GED training, or they were enrolled in tutoring with blah blah blah.com or whatever. So like it needs to be one form that can fulfill all of these different things so that they can run data off of it. And one of the options is for what school, and there's like 155 in the list. It's huge. And so I was like, I don't want the drop down when you pick it to fill up the whole screen. I want it to be a normal size, like 6 or 7 deep, and you just scroll through it or whatever. And then you have a filter at the top. Every website has this. Surely it's a normal thing. And the answer is no. 30 fucking years after HTML was invented, you can't adjust the size of the dropdown that comes with HTML. Every one that you've ever seen, somebody had to custom code a drop-down menu because the one that they give you in HTML, you can't adjust whatsoever. It's so stupid. I hate it so much. So I've been having to reinvent the wheel most of today, and it's stupid. But I'm pretty much guaranteed to get the promotion on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. The last time I got a promotion, the new CEO dragged their feet, and because we were in the second half of the year, decided that it would start in January, and fuck that. If I get the promotion on Tuesday, I'm going to be like, all right, so we're in September. You can give me September on my old rate, but in October, give me my new rate. I'm not doing 6 months of unpaid labor. Thank you.
I have to ask, all that reinventing the wheel with coding sounds really exhausting. Did it make you just want to drop down?
No, but you know what was exhausting? Accidentally staying up until 6 o'clock in the morning playing Clair Obscur because the game's really good. So we should talk about that instead.
The expedition heads to the ancient sanctuary, a forest of red trees, in search of the Gestrel village. They find a clearing full of dead Nevrons and are attacked by a giant patchwork Gestrel Gundam. The expedition kicks its ass and a little Gestrel pops out. He's shocked that we were able to defeat their invincible Sakapatat. Mael convinces the Gestrel to lead them to the village, though we still have a lot of dungeon left and we still have to navigate it ourselves. The Gestrel doesn't run in front of us to guide us. It's just we have to do it ourselves. There's a lot more Sakapatats to fight on our way through the ancient sanctuary. We'll soon find that the Gestrel's favorite thing, and indeed the only thing they care about, is fighting, so they're happy to send their anti-Nevron defenses against us, even though we're not a threat. Speaking of sending their anti-Nevron defenses against us, as the expedition approaches the village, some Gestrels send their ultimate Sakapatat after them. Our Gestrel buddy who's supposedly leading us says that this one is even more invincible than the others. The expedition still kicks its ass. Our Gestrel buddy says Golgra, the village chief and the best fighter of all the Gestrels ever, will definitely want to meet us. The expedition finally reaches the Gestrel village. Last week I described them as little gnome puppet dudes, but it turns out these puppet dudes come in all shapes and sizes. This village is fucking enormous. There's so much to do, and so much optional dialogue, and a lot of it is actually really funny.
It was laughing constantly in this village. It was wonderful.
But eventually the expedition finds Golgra and asks about getting across the sea to the Paintress. When Lune mentions that a white-haired man destroyed their boat, Golgra says he attacked the village once. She also says that their best bet for getting across the sea is Esquie. If they ask nicely, Esquie might take them across the water. But they need a password to get past the Gestrel guard at Esquie's nest, because it would be irresponsible to let weaklings go there. Golgra says she'll give them the password if they win the tournament, because beating their ultimate Sakapatat isn't good enough. She says it'll be easy because the combatants are old, though they'll also have to fight the stranger. Gustav seems to take issue with the logic here, and Lune wants to know more about the stranger, but Golgra is done talking. Time for a tournament. We select a member of the expedition to fight each one-on-one duel against Gestral fighters until it's time to fight the mysterious champion. The expedition, the whole expedition, not just the person we selected for the fight, which is weird, but the whole expedition enters the ring and sees a human psyching up the crowd. But not just any human, it's an expeditioner named Ciel. She's thrilled to see more survivors from Expedition 33, but their hugging and reunioning is cut short by the Gestral announcers saying the audience came to see a fight. So Ciel duels whoever we chose for this fight. The character who wins the fight gets a special weapon. I chose Mael, and the weapon she gets kicks ass.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, with that weapon and some Luminas, I built her so she could start in Virtuo's stance and use Floret Flurry on her first turn, which is a very powerful attack, which keeps you in Virtuo's stance.
Yeah. So it's like at least 2 rounds of doing a shitload of damage at the beginning of every fight. It's so good.
Yeah.
I did not do that.
Whose weapon did you get?
What's funny is I didn't realize you got a special weapon depending on who you do. So I did my girl Lune because she's my best character right now. And I got, I think, a pretty cool weapon, but I like the one I have now, which is the one I'm maxing out, which is I currently I have her weapon is level 10 or 11, I think, which compared to everyone else's weapons at like 3 and 4 or 5, it is just obscene damage on top of everything else I'm doing with her.
Nice.
She's been eating up all of my weapon upgrades.
When you say 10 or 11, did you actually get any items that can upgrade past 9? Because I didn't find any.
I didn't find any.
Yes,
either.
there are bonus bosses that you can do. So while I didn't go to the next story bit, I did play around a little bit with our friendly person we meet this week. And right after his area, there's just this big chromatic, one of the chromatic type dudes just out in the overworld, and you can fight him, and he gives you some.
Oh, neat.
Either I didn't find him, or I don't remember getting those upgrades because it might have been like one of the last things I did, and then I didn't talk to the curator after.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also played a ton after we stopped because I love this game. After the tournament, Gustav asks Ciel how she ended up becoming a Gestral Arena champion. This scene is really weird because, it has weird music shifts and Lune, cuts them off early. It's really weird. It feels ominous, but I have no idea what it could be omen-ing.
Yeah, I got omen vibes basically every time Ciel opened her mouth this week. I feel there's something going on there that we don't know yet.
I really like Ciel. She's one of my favorite characters. I do not trust her. I think she's probably going to turn on us.
So anyway, Ciel says she woke up in an odd yellow forest after the attack on the beach, then met a Gestral who guided her here. Ciel joins the expedition, and we get to play her tutorial and learn about her crazy mechanics. I can use her mechanics effectively, but I'm not sure I actually, quote, understand them.
I actually understood them quicker than I did Lune's. I do finally understand Lune's mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But,
see, I think Lune's mechanics are pretty easy to understand, but I cannot use them effectively.
I see. So, the way that Ciel's mechanics work, basically, is her moves... There are 2 mechanics happening that at first seem connected, but they're completely disconnected, basically. Some of her moves are sun, and some of them are moon. Sun and... When you have done a sun move or a moon move, it puts you in that stance, or not stance, but it shifts her in that direction, which having that affects her in the same way the stances do with Mael. If you manage to have both, she enters Twilight mode for a couple of moves, which is like a super move like Virtuoso stance. At the same time, she has her it starts Fortune. Foretells. Her some of her moves inflict give opponents foretells, which is basically I used to give it like in a card game sense. It's like you're giving them tokens. This guy's got 5 foretell tokens now, and then other moves consume any foretell tokens on the target to do more things. So you do some moves, give them foretell, other move, burns it. Now you're in Twilight mode. You can start doing other stuff. That's the basic idea. It is balancing two different modes, which aren't always synced up on the same moves as you start growing out her move tree.
Yeah, it took me some time to sort of wrap my head around it, but I was very quickly able to do lots of cool things with her even before I fully understood it.
Also, she's hot girl Gambit. She fights with playing cards.
Yep. Her ranged weapon is cards, and her melee weapon is like a scythe with a scythe on both ends.
Yes, she has this exceedingly cool weapon. It's really neat. But aside from her melee, all of her other attacks are cards.
Yep.
Which, good. She's got a theme.
The expedition returns to Golgra, and Golgra tells them the password is to shout, "Get out of my way," as loud as you can. The expedition is like, okay. They leave the village and set up camp, because the village doesn't have, like, an inn or anything, so they have to leave and set up camp. The gang sits around the campfire talking about how crazy it is that Gestrels and Esquie really exist, but all at once, time freezes around Mael, everything goes black and white, and the aspect ratio switches to 4:3. Uh-oh. A woman with long white hair stands before Mael. She wears half of a broken mask over her face, which appears to have been burned. Then a voice says, "Alicia, I told you to stay home. It's not good for you to see this." I can't imitate this voice because it's Andy Serkis, and he's a much better actor than me. It's the old man from the beach. Alicia points repeatedly at Mael. The old man says, "Yes, I understand. It's her fault and she doesn't even know it. But you can't be here." Mael asks what's going on and what's her fault. The old man says, "You should never have come. You're only going to make things worse for everyone. Now take your friends and go home. Let them spend their final year in peace. This is your only warning." Mael summons her sword, but in an instant she's back in reality. The gang is still chatting happily, but quickly notices that Mael is starting to have a panic attack. She tries to tell them what happened, but can barely get any words out. Gustav and Ciel comfort her. Lune tries to get more information out of her, but Gustav and Ciel are like, "Dude, back off."
I'm with Lune. I don't feel she was out of line. She wasn't like badgering Mael. She just was like,
yeah, just
say
like,
as much
happening?
as you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this will come back to bite people. The fact that they didn't get this information.
Just in general, I feel like every time there's a disagreement between Lune and Gustav, I'm like, Gustav, man, can you shut up for 5 minutes?
But here you're conflicted because Gustav and Ciel are on the same side.
That's true.
The next day, Mael is feeling better, or at least she says she is. Lune says they can debrief as they cross the world map, so I read that as we can assume the whole expedition knows the details of what happened by the time we reach our destination. The expedition reaches Esquie's nest. A giant gestrel blocks the entrance. Gustav yells, "Get out of my way!" as loud as he can, and the gestrel is like, "Geez, okay, I'm moving, I'm sorry." And there's a very funny scene where it turns out the guard didn't even know the password, and Gustav feels very bad about his rudeness. This week is silly.
It's so good.
It's so silly, I love it.
As they enter Esquie's nest, Mael offhand mentions feeling some deja vu again. That's weird. They reach a pool of water in the back of the cave, and a giant goofy balloon guy flies in through a hole in the ceiling. It's Esquie! He says, "Bonjour, mes amis." Translator's note, "Bonjour, mes amis" means "hello, my friends."
And notably, he speaks English, not gestural gobbledygook.
Yes, when he said "Bonjour, mes amis," for a second I thought his thing was that he was just going to speak French. But no, it's just it's just people sometimes use French words in their dialogue.
And at one point, I can't remember where this comes up, but someone talks about how whatever this dude is, he's not a gestrel, but he's also not, like, he doesn't fit into any prescribed category the characters understand. He's just his own thing. He's his own guy.
I think Lune says something about his chroma is different from anything we've encountered. And I'm like, yeah, Lune, you know about chroma. I don't, but you do.
it wasn't that. There was a bit where they say like something about how he was created in a way that like how he doesn't fit into human or Gestral or Nevron. Like he is. I don't remember the exact line, but like it was specifically like in how he was made or how he was born.
Oh, he's
or,
painted.
Yes, how he's painted. Yes.
I don't remember that line.
I vaguely remember something along those lines. Whomst can say.
I like him a lot.
Yes, he's great. His voice is very funny. Esquie looks at Ciel and says, "Hey, my terrible swimmer friend is back. You want to learn how to swim?" And Ciel is weirded out because she doesn't know Esquie, but she is bad with water, so how did he know that? The expedition asks Esquie about taking them over the water, and he says he's not strong enough to carry all of them while swimming. He'll need Flory, his special rock that lets him swim better. But it was stolen by his arch nemesis, one whose every step shakes the foundation of the world, the one known as Francois.
This joke is so good.
It's so good. He says Francois is over there on the other side of the cave. The expedition is like, okay, and sets off. Ciel hangs back and asks Esquie how he knows about her. He just says some dumb riddle, and Ciel's like, okay. They find their way to a cavern with a big rock in the middle. The rock is Francois. Francois yells at the expedition and at Esquie. He claims to be a turtle even though he's a rock. Esquie yells back at Francois to stop being a meanie. The expedition is like, we're just here for Flory, and Francois is like, no, fight me. So we fight the rock. Surprisingly, it's an actual boss fight. I was so sure it would be a joke fight.
It wasn't a joke fight?
I mean, it's not hard, but you have to try.
I mean,
yeah, it's not hard, but
I had already buffed my L at this point, so it was a turn.
When an enemy uses an attack, it doesn't say, like, the name of the attack. It says something like, the Succubtite uses a clumsy combo or something. And one of Francois' attacks is, Francois uses the strongest ice attack ever.
I love that one.
So, after the expedition kicks his ass, Francois gives them a rock and tells them to scram. They return the rock to Esquie, who says the rock is not Flory. Francois yells over that he never had Flory. Flory's still at the Stonewave Cliffs. Esquie is like, he got me good. Esquie says if the expedition promises to help him get Flory back, they can be buddies. He says that once they get back all his rocks, he can not only swim, he can fly into space! He used to fly all the time with his best friend Verso. If I recall correctly, Noko also mentioned someone named Verso, so we're probably going to meet someone named Verso at some point. Gustave says they'll help him get Flory back from the Stonewave Cliffs. Esquie flies off and yells, "I'll meet you outside," as he accidentally bumps into a pillar and knocks it over, which conveniently opens a path for us to get out easier, because this week is silly. We go outside and find out we can ride Esquie around the world map. Right now, we can just use him to smash through rough terrain we can't otherwise cross, but presumably, we'll find rocks that open up new traversal possibilities at convenient points in the story. So at this point, because we have to stop playing, we go around and do a bunch of optional content because we still want to play. But next week, we'll head for the Stonewave Cliffs and hopefully find Flory so we can cross the sea and kick the Paintress's ass.
Hell yeah. But for now, let's listen to some music and then talk about our memorable moments.
Did y'all find the philosopher gestrels?
Yes.
Yes, I love them.
Buy my book.
Yeah, I don't remember their exact dialogue, but it like when you talk to them, it always ends with "buy my books." And one of them, if I recall correctly, if you can like sort of agree to buy his books, and then he's like, "Do you have any paper?"
There's like, I think one of my favorite interactions was such a small one. There's like one of the in like the bazaar where you can go shopping. There's one where like there's someone shopping. There's a gestural fight shopping at a place, and you go to talk, and you just overhear their conversation where the guy shopping just insults the guy's wares, and the guy returns the insult back, and it goes like, "Oh, what are we gonna fight about this?" And then the shopper's like, "No, actually, I don't want to fight. I just want to look at your stuff." And the shopkeep's like, "Okay, that works for me." Like it felt like they were having so much fun writing all the dialogue in this section. It's
Yes.
delightful.
Did y'all find the back alley at the bazaar
Yes.
where some
get
Jestrels
mugged.
try to rob you? And then you beat them, and they're like, "No, we'll sell you our stuff. You can even use Chroma to pay for it."
Oh God. Oh, what about the doctor who all he does is talk about the horrible bone disease he has?
Yeah.
And it's like a line of people who are all like, I want to get healed, but all he does is talk about his horrible bone disease.
Did you find the expedition journal?
Yes, I did.
So the guy in the expedition is like, we just got our butts kicked by Nevrons protecting this town, and we're trying to go to the doctor, but he won't shut up about the disease he has. Am I really going to bleed out? Is this how my expedition is going to end? Is that the doctor just won't help me?
The doctor reminded me of, in SpongeBob, I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Did y'all find the casino? Or the future casino that the guy's building? Did y'all go all the way to the back and talk to the Gestural Gambler?
Yes.
Yes. So the Gestural Gambler, I'm trying to remember exactly what he asks you. He asks, like, if you had a 50% chance to do 100% more damage every time you attack, or this or that, what would your odds be of doing more damage over time? And you can select, you would have higher odds, lower odds, or the odds would be about the same, or you can say you don't care. The correct answer is to say you don't care, because the gambler says, of course, you understand. It doesn't matter if it's better or not, because it's more thrilling. And then you get a Pictos that makes it so that you have each turn you have a 50% chance of doing less damage or more damage. I don't remember the exact numbers, but
I think it's 50 and 200.
If it's 50 and 200, that would be more damage over time, right?
I think so.
Or
Or
like
it's
if it was
about the same.
Because if it was 10, if you're doing 10 damage, then you would either be doing 5 or 20, and the average of 5 and 20 would be like higher than 10, right?
Yeah, I think so. But it doesn't matter. We're gamblers. It's more thrilling if we don't know.
Exactly. Also, the guy who built the casino says something about like how the other Gestrals don't appreciate it, but someday everyone will be elegant and listen to jazz.
Yes. Also, speaking of gambling, my Lune build, she has a 38% crit chance now.
Oh my god.
Which and I focus her entirely on lightning. So what I've done, because now that I've realized how Stain works, I've built her up to where she gets a move called Lightning Dance. Lightning Dance already does very high lightning damage, like 4 or 5 times, but then it does it again every time it crits. It gets another hit. And if I do, if I have a Earth, Water, and Fire stain when I do it, it ups the damage even more.
And then you have the move that, if it crits, gives you one of each stain.
I don't have that.
You don't have that? So it does 4 hits, and you have 4 opportunities to crit. The first one will give you fire, the second one will give you lightning, third one will give you ice, fourth one will give you earth.
Ooh,
and
I really need that one.
With your crit chance, it's probably going to do that.
I've just been doing do the earth move if I'm on like a boss. Anything else dies way too quickly to do any setup. But if I'm on a boss that needs setup, I do earth move, fire move, the ice move that gets the thermal whatever that gives you more AP, and then I do the lightning thing. And I did that on the one you were talking about last episode, the chromatic abbot or whatever, which had, oh my god, you have to dodge every hit because it was one-shotting everyone. Like, it didn't, health no longer mattered because it was all just one hit point, basically. But I did, with Lightning Dance, doing that setup, and then also combining with all those other things, CL gets a move, she can get a move from her that she can double someone's next move. Like, double the damage on the next skill. So I did that on her for Lightning Dance, plus all the other setup, and it did about 15,000 damage.
Nice. I love this game's mechanics.
It's so fun. I definitely feel like I do want to, as I'm leveling up my L, I want to maybe start buffing her might. Currently, I've been heavily focusing her into defense and agility, which has worked a lot because it means my Lune is very squishy. So having a Mael who's very much able to pick up the slack a little bit when others start, just falling is good.
And also, Mael can get a move that lets her take damage in place of other party members, like the paladin archetype or whatever.
So,
I like that. That's good.
But what I love about Mael is when you get her, she's 100% a glass cannon. She's super squishy. She's super strong. But there are Pictos that just give you 400 HP. And so I just put 3 of them on her. And so now she's no longer a glass cannon.
I
she's
have not found a single one of those. I
Neither
would
have
like
I.
to.
Oh, those are rewards for the tournament round 2 that you can find.
Oh, I didn't know there
Well, I
was
need
a
to
tournament round 2.
I need to go do the tournament round 2 then.
If you explore the world map like I do and you just hug the wall and go around, you won't find it. It's on an isolated island in the middle, and I forget what they call it, but it's like secret gestural tournament grounds or something. And each one it's a rematch against everybody, but they're progressively harder. And I was not able, even with like the luckiest turns I could possibly get, able to like put a dent into the last guy. But I was able to do like 5 or 6 of them with my current build. And
nice.
So all of the Lumina that it gives you are not necessarily great. They are great if you want to do a solo Mael run, which, I mean, that sounds like it could be fun, but it only gives you bonuses if you're the only one standing. And so it gives you a bunch of HP is the reason that I have it on her. If everyone else dies, she gets the bonuses, which is cool, but I'm not building around that. I'm building around the fact that I just gave her 1200 HP.
I find it funny how Gustav is constantly worried about Mael's well-being. And like at one point, if you talk to her at camp, he's like, maybe you should stay in the Gestural village where it's safe. And I'm like, she is so much more badass than you. She is the most badass member of my party by far.
Also, remember I sent you, so I fought a lot more mimes. All my girls in my party have an outfit, which is basically the most French outfit ever. It is a striped shirt with suspenders and the pants, and then they have the scarf around the neck and a beret. All my girls have that now. I sent you all, because that's just my party. Is I just Gustav hasn't done anything in a while. I just have all girls. But I sent you that picture. Literally immediately after that, have either of you found the beach?
So that was going to be my next point that I brought up. Shitty parkour. Yes. Shitty parkour. Shitty parkour.
Shitty parkour. I did it. I got swimsuits.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I didn't find this beach. I've got more optional stuff to do than I thought.
Yeah. Who did you use to do the shitty parkour?
Oh, I did Lune.
Yeah, so everyone else, because we are past Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is the first time that they really did this, of really smart, like, physics skeletons that, like, can hold on, like, if you're standing on steps, then it looks like they're standing on steps, etc. And that fucking fucks me up if I'm doing the parkour. Lune flies above it, and it's easy. Any person with legs, I can't fucking stay on the thing at all.
I get you completely. I had the same thing. But also, I like play as Lune. And I got her a swimsuit, and I got Gustav a swimsuit. Don't care about that. But now my Lune is just running around in a swimsuit.
Yeah,
nice. Floating around.
Floating around in a swimsuit.
Speaking of Lune, where did she find a perfectly intact guitar?
That's a great question.
Did she bring it? Did she find one of the Gestrals is playing an identical guitar?
She has a guitar when she's playing her guitar in Lumiere in the prologue, so I assume she brought it with her to keep up morale at camp, I guess.
Or something. I don't know, but it was
I mean, they
very
brought a
good.
record player and no records, so their priorities for what they pack seem to be weird.
Okay, speaking of the records, though, when I was going back, because I realized when you go to the world map, when you're in the like overworld area, it shows you like areas you can enter that you haven't been to yet. And so I was going around doing as many as I could, and there's several where you go in and it's just a fixed camera angle of a landscape, and there's
Yes.
just a record on the ground, and that's
Yep.
all that's there.
Yep.
They're so cool. There's so many of those.
I realize I don't think either of you have played this game, but it reminded me of the landmarks in Metaphor Refantasio.
I haven't yet, but I want to.
There are lots of places where, as you're traveling the world map, which is just like you select a spot and then your crazy vehicle that you're in goes there, there's points where the pilot is like, okay, we're stopping because there's something crazy outside. And it's like the artists just had some crazy ideas for places and there wasn't anywhere to put them in the story. So it's just like we get to see this crazy piece of art that is with our dude standing in front of it real tiny looking at it.
That's cool.
Gosh, there were so many memorable moments this week. I'm trying to organize them in my brain.
I did want to say I've been building Ciel in a weird way, which is specifically I looked because her thing is like this because she has the two different things she does, and so her skill tree is she starts off with two ends of the skill tree, and then all of the middle are all branching paths towards the center, and the exact center are 3 10-cost moves. And one of them caught my eye, and so I've just been trying to get to it. Which meant I got one move that's like, it does all this cool stuff. It also puts you at 1 HP when you use it. So, I haven't done that. I'm probably never going to, but it's a neat thing to have. But the 10 cost thing I'm after, oh god, I want to look up, if I could just look up. Now I don't remember how to spell her name.
Sciel.
Thank you. It's called Twilight Dance, is what you get up to. Yeah, Twilight Dance. Twilight Dance does extreme single target dark damage on someone, 4 hits of it.
And then 4 hits of extreme?
Yes. And then if she's in Twilight mode, it extends the duration of Twilight by 1 more turn.
Oh shit.
And it consumes all Foretell that's on the person for extra damage. Also, thing to note about Foretell is that there's normally there's a limit on how much Foretell any enemy can have, but when you're in Twilight mode, it doubles.
Yes,
which is a useful thing.
Yeah, I love the combat in this game because it feels like building a Magic the Gathering deck in a very good, fun way. Like back in the day when all of my friends were addicted to Magic, so I didn't have to spend any money and we could just do cool things. I loved seeing building ramp with green and just being like, oh, these things work together and they probably weren't meant to work together, but because they're working together, it's turn 1 and here's an 8/8 sort of shit. And that's what I feel like every time I'm assigning someone a Pictos. And so I'm like, oh, this is stupid. Like my Gustav right now is I don't remember if I mentioned it last week. I don't remember when I built him. I binged like 12 hours of this game in a row. So I don't quite remember. But like Gustav, he's built to just use his gun, which will get him a bunch of buffs to then end his turn with an attack and kick ass on it. All of those things feel like in a vacuum, no big deal. Like, oh, if you shoot someone, you have a 50% chance to give a mark or whatever. That sounds normal. But then when you add all of the other stuff to it, it feels like, oh, I just built the sick combo. In a Magic game.
I'm trying to remember. I think you can do it where each time you shoot them, you have a chance to burn them. Each time you shoot a burning enemy, you have a chance to mark them. If you shoot a marked enemy, you get extra AP. If you do a normal attack after shooting, you get bonus damage. And just, it's insane what you can do in this game.
there's also one I don't have the AP one, but I have the one that gives you powerful. So I shoot until I see a mark, because the next on a marked enemy, the next move, next source of damage does extra. So I shoot until I see a mark, and then I switch over and I do his attack, and it's powerful, has a high crit chance because they're burning, has mark, does extra damage because I've shot. It's very cool.
God,
And
this
right
game rules.
and right
This
above
game rule.
the like UI at the bottom, whenever one of your Lumina goes off, it tells you. And I love
Yes.
making that attack, and it's like, the reason you just did shitload damage is these 12 things, and it just goes I'm like, hell yeah, I love it.
What you're just getting with your Gustav build, I've actually, just because I don't have Gustav in the party now, I was doing that with him, and now I've moved that to Mael. She's my shoot girl now, which works really well because while you have that really cool weapon for Mael you get from the tournament, the weapon I have her with right now is one that gives her Virtuoso stance if she breaks anyone's shield, and that counts with a free shot.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And if I can get it to level 10, which I'm getting very close to getting it to level 10, it'll make it so her free shots get rid of 2 shields.
Nice.
Which should be pretty useful.
Nice.
Also, speaking of Pictos, the ones I've been excited to go after, because you get them from bonus bosses usually so far from what I can find, the chromatics, is there are several Pictos that cost a lot, but the thing is, you start the battle with 1 extra AP. So I'm doing everything I can to get it so everyone masters that one. And so they can have that as one of their whatever. I can't remember the name now.
Luminous.
So everyone just starts with Luminous. Someone just has 3 extra AP at the start of every fight, which it's beautiful. Starting a fight with like Lune having 7 AP to start is obscene. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
The random enemies stand no chance.
Did you all find the door to the manor inside the Gestural Village?
Yes.
No.
So there's a door to the manor. It takes you inside a different room in the manor, and you can explore. You have to interact with a bunch of innocuous objects, and eventually you find cool stuff, and you open a door that leads into the main area of the manor, which, if you'll recall, had a whole bunch of locked doors you couldn't get through, but you open that up. And I'm guessing as we go through the game, we'll find lots of doors and go in and do weird stuff and then come out into the main area.
Yeah, I thought at first that this was going to be like a fast travel hub, because you start in that other room, but there's not a door to leave in that room. You leave out the main door. So I don't know what the point is besides
Village.
Yeah, I don't know what the point is besides finding cool shit, which might just be to find cool shit, but it's very cool. And I have
also, you get to listen to the manor music, which rules. There's a gestural standing outside the door and talks about how scary the door is and stuff, and you can be like, yeah, I've been through that door, and he says, what? You've been inside? And you say, oh, so you've never been teleported to the ominous, perfectly maintained manor? The responses you can give during NPC dialogue have a lot of silly character to them, and it's sort of weird because it's the same no matter who your lead character is. So it's just like everyone is a little weird and snarky in the same way.
Speaking of weird and snarky, so in the Esquie cutscene where he's like, oh, you have to go get it from Francois. Gustav is like, let me guess, we have to leave here, trek across the continent to a special place where it's filled with Nevrons, and there's a giant one at the end that we have to defeat to get it. And he's like, no, it's right over there. It was very much oh, here we go. We're in a video game and we have to get some other MacGuffin and go and do a battle do a dungeon for it. And it was very funny.
But we are going to have to do a dungeon for it, it turns out. We're the Stonewave Cliffs.
It's true.
But yeah, the whole thing with Francois was very silly. And it was especially funny because Esquie's voice acting is delightful.
So good.
Oh, good.
I was looking up the voice actor. As far as I can tell, this might not be true, but as far as I can tell, I think it's this voice actor's first professional credit, which is wild because it's so good.
And like, everyone else in this game is Charlie Cox and Andy Serkis. So him being a nobody that's kicking this much butt is very cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to try and act in a game alongside Andy Serkis.
No.
Andy Serkis is a good actor. Also, because this game was made in France, I found a reference to Daft Punk.
I did not.
There's a gestural worker at the Sakapatat factory who says, "Harder, better, faster, stronger. Let's show these kids how we engineer around here."
That's
Beautiful.
so good. Also, the thing you said about Esquie, this is off topic of the game, but it made me think of this because I was like, wait, what else do I know that had voice actors who were like seemed to be completely new to, like, close to completely new to the industry? It was like, oh yeah, I was talking about earlier, 100 Line. Apparently, a lot of the characters in 100 Line are voiced by very new people to voice acting, which is cool.
I don't remember the context of this conversation, but I have a capture from my PlayStation where a gestural says, "I like looking at the ground all day." I don't remember what the gestural was talking about before that. Maybe that's all it says. I feel like the goofy little guys in every JRPG are often annoying, but I love the gesturals.
They're so fun. They could have been annoying, but the writing on them is so consistent and delightful that I like it. Like, I'm glad they're here. This game would be worse if they weren't, and I think between them and Esquie, I think the fact we've had such a fun, lighthearted week is telling me that we're about to get a lot of pain again. And
Yeah.
they're softening us a bit. Speaking of pain, also I forgot to mention the chiefess of the chief of the
Yes.
the chef of the gestural.
They call her
the
chief
chef.
and chef.
First of all, God, gorgeous woman. She could do anything she wants to me. Second, she, including that, is kick my ass because you can fight her if you want. And she's like, "Do you really want to do that? Are you sure?"
And it turns out you should say no.
Yeah.
You should say no. She can and will destroy you.
I was like, yeah, I'll fight her. Most of these gesturals have been pushovers. And then she did one attack and instantly did like 3 times my health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I die. Well, you don't die. It's not a game over. She just like says you suck, and yeah.
I think she says something like, "That's what I thought," or something like that. Like, hurts harder.
Yeah. Oh, what was the other one? Did y'all find the jousting arena in the Gestural Village?
I did, but I wasn't able to do anything with it.
I don't think there is anything to do with it.
Okay.
There's just some funny dialogue around it.
Their favorite thing to do besides fighting is a different form of fighting.
Yes, there's a guy you can talk to, and he's like, "Ah, man, my kid isn't that into fighting, but he loves the jousting arena." And you're like, "Isn't jousting just fighting with more rules?" And he says something like, "Yeah, but my kid would have a meltdown if he found out that jousting is just fighting." This game is good.
Yeah, I think the reason that the weird little guys don't suck in this game is because, like, if they were all Noko, they would be the next Nopon. They would be a annoying blemish on an awesome game. But it's the fact that they are all different kinds of weird little guys. So each interaction is not just going to be like, oh, they're going to talk in a high-pitched voice and talk funny. It's like, oh, what's this guy's deal? And so you want to know what's the next one's going to do, which is very good to have in your weird little guy.
I'll agree that Nopon are often annoying, but I love Tora from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so much.
Yes, Tora is the exception that proves the rule.
Tora is a delight.
I close to Tora, but not as good as Tora. You have 2 Nopon party members in Xenoblade 3 because everything has a pair because it's part of the game. And one of them is a chef, and the other one is an engineer. And the engineer has a super deep voice, which is also very good to have on a Nopon because you're not used to them having that. So he's pretty good too. But the average NPC Nopon is just not it.
Those were a lot of words you said.
You should play Xenoblade. So you would really like it, Trish.
I know.
It's very maximalist.
I love maximalism. I love good JRPGs. I only have so many hours in a day, and with a job now, I have less.
And Xenoblade does take a lot of hours.
And to nail in the coffin that you should play it, a lot of hot girls that are very, very sapphic with each other. Especially in 3. There are canon ships in 3 that I've thrown out the window because these people are gay as hell.
Well, that's definitely tempting.
They're very, very good.
I haven't equipped the baguette outfits on anyone because they're really silly, and
They're so good.
But I did equip the baguette hat on CL, because she just wears the beret. Lune gets huge sunglasses as well, but
yes,
CL just wears the
it.
beret and has lipstick, and I think she looks real good with her regular outfit. So I did equip that on her. I told my friend who I've been telling about the game, I equipped a beret on my character in the France game.
Nice. One thing, speaking of outfits, one thing that is annoying and I hate it is how aggressive the battle damage system is in this game. I will take like one hit in battle, and then the next important cutscene, Gustav is just like fucking Braveheart covered in blood sort of shit.
It's a little silly. And the chroma elixir is apparently also a shower.
Yeah.
Because it cleans you up.
I started overusing my chroma elixirs because they give you a shower more than me needing it. It's like if I was in a hard fight where I took some damage, I'll use the chroma elixir. Not because I don't think I'll survive to the next free save point, but because there might be a cutscene and I don't want all that.
Oh man, while I was going back and doing optional stuff, I explored all the way back to the first area of the game, the Spring Meadows. And I was like, I wonder if I missed anything here. So I entered. I immediately fell off a ledge and found a revive tent shard, which lets you use your revive item once more per rest. And so that was really worth it. There's good shit just lying around in these dungeons.
Yeah, I love that now that we have the curator, all of the treasure is good, because prior to getting the curator, it's just like, you found chroma. Cool. You found a chroma catalyst. Awesome. You found all of these things that are pointless. Why do you go around not doing things? But now that everything has a reason, it's like you'll be going off somewhere and you'll get this chroma catalyst can level you up to 9 and everything else you've had is only 3. And you're like, oh, hell yeah. And it's much different now than it was at the beginning of the game.
I remember at the beginning of the game, I was like, how? I got an item that says I can upgrade stuff, but I can't find anywhere in the menus to do it. And I literally went to Reddit to see how you do it. And they were just like, keep playing the game. And I was like, okay.
Speaking of keeping playing the game, I want to do that. So let's end this episode. So that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and also get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. If you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragonslayer19, Freddie Rodriguez, AARon524, and JFro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to become a luminary, you can donate $20 or more a month and get a short one-sentence shout-out or advert read at the end of each episode, a little like this. Shouts to El Tantivy, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Kale Dronis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. Shouts to Vimke, who says, her sword she swiftly locked within its scabbard, and the scabbard she clutched in her arms like a child. And then shouts to It's Clair Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.